It's Friday night. It's like 1 in the morning. And I finished my video and I posted it for you all to see in Facebook, and I can't stop watching the last 5 minutes of Tori Amos in slow motion. There's something that's like oddly mesmerizing about it. Welcome to Saturday morning. And I cannot decide if I want to go see Annihilation or not. It's getting so many mixed reviews. It's like some people say that it's amazing. Some people say that it just looks amazing, but there's not really a good plot, or like there's no character development, but it's an interesting story. Like, it's just like all these reviews where like it's really good in these ways, but then it fails in these ways. Look at who I have for a walk. Frankie, how you doing? Frankie. Just want to look at the camera. Taking Frankie for a walk. And then me and Lisa are gonna go see Annihilation. Waiting for Lisa to stop yawning. We just saw Annihilation. What do you think? Yeah, I feel the same. It was alright.
I'm like this.
You're ready to say no?
It's a halfway point. It's a half full, half empty.
Yeah, like I don't feel like I necessarily needed to go see it in the theater to pay, but like I would have streamed it online.
Yeah.
That's why I was going back and forth about going. But anyway, we saw it. It was alright.
Entertaining.
Yeah,
Something to do.
I wasn't bored or upset or anything. I want the soundtrack.
Yeah. I want to listen to it while having a bonfire.
We are now at the Noodle Company getting noodle dinners.
I'm not even hungry. I bought it anyway.
So after the movie, I was next to the macaroni and cheese place. Well, actually, it's the Noodle Company, so they have all kinds of variations of noodle meals. So I got the buffalo chicken macaroni and cheese, which, as you can tell, looks amazing if you are into buffalo chicken and macaroni and cheese being combined. And I kind of feel like I got my M&Ms back. I got another bag from the movie theater. Oh my god, I just spent like 2 hours of my Saturday night trying to connect my printer to the network. Oh my god. Because my printer is wireless only, which I didn't realize when I bought it. So, for some reason, I couldn't get it connected to the new network. So, super long 2-hour story short is that if you are trying to get a printer onto a new network, you have to completely uninstall it, uninstall the driver from your computer, and then reinstall the driver, and then it should work. Which I didn't realize. Like, you would think you should just be able to go into, like, the settings or something and just update it with the new network. But it apparently doesn't work that way. And, oh, look at that. Hot off the press. I just printed my first test sheet off of the network. I'm very excited because now I want to start doing some horror 3D themed art again. And I would like to get bigger pieces of art, because, you know, I do this size, and I want to kind of, like, quadruple it to get it to, like, a sheet of paper, a full sheet of paper size. I guess that would be more like doubling it. I want to double it up and see how that works out. So last night, in honor of all the horror movies I've been watching lately, I slowly changed into my pajamas in front of a half-open window in dim lighting. So I'm doing my Sunday morning routine, and I went to go get a drink from Black Coffee, my caramel blondie chiller, and they're like, so I ordered a small drink, which is normally $4.20, holla, but they're like, oh, we're having a special on a medium, where if you get a medium, it's only $3. So I'm like, sure, as if I need this much drink. Up next, King Burrito to get a breakfast burrito. This is not how I want to spend my Sunday night. I was lighting one of those incense matches, and half of the top of the lit match like fell off and onto my fingertip and burned down and appears to have just melted my skin. And then I just stared at it for like 5 minutes, not really knowing what to do, feeling in very intense pain. So then I went to the chat and was like, I have no idea what to do about a burn. It could be a 2nd-degree burn. And so Vanessa sent me a link, so I ran my hand underwater until I no longer felt anything. And now I don't know what to do. I don't have any kind of like ointments or whatever. Like, did a piece of the match go down into my skin and melt? And now it's just sitting inside my body. What's happening? It looks like it's blistering now. Like, I tried to take pictures of it and it just doesn't do it justice to show what it looks like. Welcome to Monday. My finger is blistering over, I think. And I can't really use my index finger. So I can't wait for this to go away so that I can use my finger again. All I want to do is get inside. I just got off work and it's 4:20, holla! Like, it's actually 4:20. I just want to get inside and play 7 Days to Die. That's all I want. Nothing going on this week but playing 7 Days to Die. I just watched Dee's marriage video. It was very moving and emotional. So now I'm gonna sit here and smoke a joint and listen to emotional music and think about my life. Welcome to Existential Crisis Wednesday. You could also call it Midlife Crisis Wednesday, as I have this long chat with all of you in Facebook Messenger about life and what to do with your 40s. I'm just testing out this guitar tuner, that Dee got me for Christmas like a year or more ago. So I think my guitar is in tune, but the strings are probably a decade old, so I probably really need new strings. So I don't think this week's video is going to be very long, because I don't have much to say this week. There's not a lot going on. And I also want a little bit of a break this weekend from the editing, because I'm just not in the mood this week to edit a long video and spend like 4+ hours on it. So hopefully this video isn't too long and I'll have a little break for myself. But at the same time, you never know what's gonna happen. Once you light this up, I could like end up talking forever. Especially because I just realized that I have this. My little attachment that makes me hands-free. I completely forgot that that's been up here for like 3 weeks. So I could be like hanging out in my chair and like talking. But so I'm trying to make a mix of guitar songs that are on my computer, because most of the stuff that I listen to is electronic, so I'm like, I want to change it up. I want some guitar, like a guitar mix because all my music is elsewhere. It is not on this computer, like a majority of my music. It's all like electronic and DJ stuff and chill out stuff. So I'm trying to like sort it out and make a mix of like the guitar stuff. And then I'm sitting here listening to it and I'm like, well, actually what I want now is to like make a mix of all the songs that I want to cover. And then I'm like, oh, now I really want to make a mix of like really good smoke songs. So God, I just shocked myself touching my computer. But you know what I really need is to get one of those ring lights so I can put it like behind the phone and then I can be like in the dark, but then you'll have like the ring light on me. So I'm sitting here just like wishing that I was goth. And I'm like, what can I do to be goth? Like, you know how there's some people where like they could stand in front of you without any clothes on and you could still see that they are very goth without clothes. It just pours out of them from the inside somehow. And then I'm like, you know, my first girlfriend was kind of goth. My last girlfriend was kind of goth. There's some girls in between there that are kind of goth. I mean, what else? What could I do? I already dyed my hair black. Should I start painting my nails black? I mean, I've already got like some horror t-shirts, some black jeans. What else can I do to not look nerdy and instead to look goth? Go down to the tattoo parlor, get a sleeve of horror on my arm? Should I look up a tutorial on YouTube on how to do goth eye makeup? That's the thing about glasses. I feel like with glasses, that just ruins the whole makeup effect, like no matter what you want to do. Hello, and welcome to Thursday. Getting off work. Heading home, and we've been having a problem with one of the locks on our door. We have two locks, and one of them has started to stop working. Today when I get home, I really hope that somebody did not lock it again, because I won't be able to get in, and there is nobody home, and it will be many hours before somebody will be home. I haven't really been doing anything this week except delving into horror movies and listening to a lot of horror movie podcasts. So I'm like getting really deep into this horror movie thing. So I've always liked horror movies, but now I'm really like, I don't know, I'm just like seeking out all this knowledge. Like I'm just starting this journey to seek out all this knowledge about horror movies. So I have this massive list of movies that I feel like I need to see. And then go to sync settings. And then where it says sync with the Android contact app, you want to make sure that's check marked. What's up? Welcome to Friday. I'm just driving home from work, and we can call this Existential Music Crisis Friday because I'm now having a crisis about music and the way that things were and the way that things changed. Is that I was thinking about an era where I really loved music and there were all these like really amazing, great, special things happening, which were probably anywhere between like 1999 and maybe like 2003, 2004, maybe 2005. And the way that like there was just this certain music that I listened to, which was all mostly like post-Riot Girl stuff. And so it all changed my life. And I'm just sitting here like, what happened? You know, like, why doesn't a thing like that seem to exist now? And like, maybe it does, but I mean, that was a really special thing where there were a lot of talented artists. I mean, I don't hear of any other thing like that happening where they're like, oh, here's like 100 artists that all know each other and like are super talented, you know, living in the same area, blah blah blah. And so I just am getting like sadder and sadder thinking about how that doesn't exist. It was very special because it was like before social media. It was before the internet like really took off. Like there was definitely the internet and we were using it, but like it wasn't the way that things are now. So I think like more people were using instruments that they actually physically play, like physical instruments, you know, like actually physically having a guitar, bass, drums, keyboards, like having a physical object that they would play. And then once the internet got to like a certain point and technology got to a certain point, you could do everything on a computer. Nobody's actually touching anything physically in real life. You're just like, you know, tapping on stuff in a computer screen, which is fine. But the point is that I feel like we're missing this huge thing. This huge thing went away. And I'm wondering if it's because of social media. Because before the internet and social media hit, the way that you would, you know, spread your music is by touring and like word of mouth and just like getting out there on the ground and like sharing your music in festivals and really just like performing all over the place, collaborating with other people, you know, trying to get on, maybe even trying to get onto like an indie label, something like that. I'm talking about like super indie people, you know. And so social media happened, and now like pretty much nobody has to really leave the house. You don't really need to have a band. You don't need to collaborate with anybody. You don't need a label. So that's all great, and that's fine for certain reasons, but then it's just like, it's so sad to think about the loss that it also creates. Because why should I go on a tour where I'm maybe just going to break even or lose money when I could just put up a live Instagram feed of myself performing my music alone in my bedroom? And, you know, if I'm lucky, you know, maybe my stuff would go viral on the internet and I could just become like internet famous, blah, 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 whatever. The point is that you don't really have to leave your house or do anything like you had to before. And that's really sad because I used to feel like I was very connected with the artists because I would go to their shows and I mean, it's lucky for me and amazing for me that the shows were very small and very intimate. And so I got to actually go up to the stage and like have conversations with all of the musicians that were like my heroes and give them my music and like have conversations with them and follow them all around to different cities and like know each other like on a personal level. I'm not saying we were like these deep great friends, but like we knew who each other were, you know. And it's just sad to feel like that's lost. Like a lot of it is lost. Like, yes, of course it still happens, but again, with social media and with YouTube and like being able to just so easily live stream everything that you're doing and not needing any other people to make music with, it's like very solo, it's very on the internet, it's not in real life. And then like ever since I moved to Portland, the shows are not intimate at all. It's huge, you know, and like completely packed, and that intimacy is gone. And that's fine, that's what happens, that's like the natural progression of a good band, is that you lose the intimacy. But like there's always been some kind of small band that you could go see, you know, and like feel some sort of intimacy with them and get on that level with them. But it's weird. It's like I live in the Pacific Northwest, so you would think that this is a thing that is happening because it happened for so many decades before I moved here. And then I moved here, and like the internet, and I think that was around the time that social media really blew up, was because I think Facebook became public in like maybe 2007 or 8, and I moved here in 2009. And social media just became like this huge thing. So people don't have to go out into the real world to interact or to share their music. They don't need anything. And like, that's great. Again, that's great in so many ways, but like, you're also losing so many other things. It's just like a very complicated, sad situation. So I'm having like this existential music crisis where I just don't know what anything is anymore or how anything works. Like, it's just not the same, you know. It's like before it would be like this big exciting thing to like go to a record store and like just kind of see what they have, or like just go just to see what happens to exist, because you don't have the internet, so you have no idea unless you like, you know, go out and look for it. It's like we had 8-tracks, those disappeared. You have cassette tapes, those disappeared. You have CDs, those are pretty much gone. And now we have MP3s, which is not a tangible thing. So, and now like, if you go even further, it's like people don't even care to have MP3s anymore. They're just like, oh, I have everything streaming. So like, they don't even have a copy of it. They just have the thing streaming. And like, streaming is not forever. I don't know if people are thinking about this fact, but like, whatever you're streaming is going to eventually disappear, and if you don't have a copy of it, it's gone. There's all this music that I want to make, and I don't even know like how to deal with this or where to start, because none of it goes together. So it's not like, oh, just make this album and you have all this different music, because that's not what I'm looking for. So let me tell you about the different kinds of music that I would like to make. So I want to have like an actual official band. I want it to be an all-female band, and I want to do like this kind of dark, hard rock, kind of screamy band where I would like to sing, and I would like it if somebody else was also a singer. So it could be like a Veruca Salt situation where like you both sing together and then you kind of do like a half and half thing. Like, that would be fantastic to me. But I would like to test that out, and I would like to try to see if I could do some screamy sort of vocals, do something like that's heavier, that has a lot of like power in it and is very intense and high. I mean, I don't know that it has to be like high energy, but if you think of like Savages or the new Chelsea Wolfe stuff, it's kind of like that's the area that I want to get into. But I also want to make some super chill out jams. I want to make like an entire album that's like this epic chill out jam album. And then I would also like to make the Amy Kasio dark electro album, where it would be kind of like The Knife and Fever Ray, that sort of a situation. But then I also want to make the album of songs that are written on guitar, and so they're really based around like an acoustic guitar or like an electric guitar, but like without any distortion. So there's like 4 albums that I want to do. Maybe that's because I haven't made any music for like 11 years now. So I don't really know how that's all going to pan out. That's a lot of things, that's a lot of work. But I would love to do all 4 of those albums. And I would like to do live shows. But again, I only want to do shows that are meaningful to me, or where I actually make money from doing the show, because it's a lot of work to do it.